But first, we start with the fight over affordability, which is hitting every corner of society, from groceries to housing to health care. On that last score, many Republicans say Obamacare remains a major driver of the squeeze. Republican North Dakota Congresswoman Julie Fedorchak is calling for major changes to the Affordable Care Act. She joins us now. The Obamacare subsidies were a big reason that Democrats decided to shut down the government a week or two ago. Well, longer ago that they shut it down. What is the solution, Congresswoman?
Thank you, John. Glad to be here today to talk about this important issues of affordability for Americans. As we've seen, the Affordable Care Act, as it was dubbed and promised by the Democrats when they passed it without a single Republican vote of support, has been anything but affordable. It should be renamed the Unaffordable Care Act because it has left Americans paying much higher costs for their health care while getting, marginal results and little improvement for that added expense. We have lots of ideas for improvements on those. Unfortunately, the enhanced premium tax credits that are the focus of the Democrats, we know are a failure. We have seen under those policies the last 3 years, we've seen healthcare premiums increase 31%. So throwing more money at that program is not the solution Americans are looking for. That money goes straight to insurance companies. So that would be like if you want groceries to get cheaper, sending more money to grocery store owners. That's not going to result in lower prices for groceries, nor is more money going to insurance companies going to result in lower premiums. We know that doesn't work. So we're taking a different approach. There's been many ideas already gotten through the House and passed and brought forward last year, almost passed. So there's a number of those things that I'd be happy to talk to you about.
Yeah, well, what are the Republican ideas that are going to bring lower premiums? Because, Obamacare clearly has become extremely expensive.
Well, we want to put patients first of all, and help them be in the driver's seat of their own health care. Republicans passed in the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut Plan. We passed reforms that would have, according to CBO, reduced premiums by 13%. And those were stripped out by the Democrats in the Senate. So we could start there. Those include just cutting back on the fraud in the enhanced premium tax cut plan, reducing the zero premium plans that are available in the ACA. So you have people, many millions of people who have zero premium plans, which really takes away the accountability for the patients and the people who own the plans. It also takes away the assurance that there is a live body and not a ghost behind those premiums, which we've seen a big problem with. 35% of the premiums paid by the enhanced premium tax plan are considered to be phantom plans and phantom premiums. So there's fraud that needs to be addressed. We need to reform the PBM situation, and we have bipartisan legislation that was brought forward last session that could do a great deal of good in that regard, reducing the cost of pharmaceuticals.
A couple of
lower costs.
A couple of Republicans, starting with Senator Tim Scott, are urging patience. They say that lower prices are not going to be coming next week. Listen.
So many of the benefits in that working class tax cuts, they don't kick in until next year. 2026 will be the year of affordability.
You're going to see inflation coming off. You're keeping energy prices low. You've got tax numbers coming in next year. I think rates should be at least 100 basis points lower. That will free up affordability in housing.
The American people, including in New York, especially in New York, are going to see the fruits of that labor next year when there is more money back in their pockets.
So next year may be the magic year, but people want, lower prices right now, Congressman. What do you tell them?
Well, absolutely, and I agree. My family wants lower prices too, and all of my constituents as well. what we're seeing right now is we are paying the prices of 4 years of the Green New Deal, 4 years of more regulation in the housing market that drives up the cost of housing. Just the last 4 years of the Biden administration saw the government taking a bigger role in the marketplace across the board, and that drives costs up. So we are returning to more common sense, free market principles, lower taxes, lower regulation. That doesn't change the marketplace overnight, but it will change it quickly, and it'll be more lasting. And I'm confident that citizens in North Dakota and across America are going to start seeing the fruits of that labor, as one of those folks just said.
We have a chart that shows what it takes to buy a house these days, the median priced home in this country. It took about $84,700 back in 2022. In 2024, it was up to $103,000, almost $104,000. And then you look at the house prices. That was the house prices. You look at the median income. $43,000 was the median back in 22. It's only $45,000 now. So the gap has grown. But I want to ask you about this, Congresswoman. When you ask Americans who has the better plan on some of the top issues facing the country today, reducing crime, Republicans win. Creating jobs, Democrats win by 2 points. Making things affordable, Democrats win by 10. And raising wages, Democrats again win by 14, I should say. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that's kind of the classic example of, the Democrat solution is giving free things to people, and it's easy to be Santa Claus. It's popular. The Republican solutions are a little less sexy. They don't come across as attractive, I think, on the front end. Lower taxes, lower regulations. That sounds kind of boring, but those are the things that we know work. We see it in my state of North Dakota. That has been the way my state has been governed for the last 30 years. And we have some of the best economic situation in the whole country. So absolutely, our policies, we know they're the common sense fundamentals that work long term in the economy. They support innovation, and that's what drives prices down. It drives affordability up, and that's going to be what ultimately pays dividends for American citizens.
Well, that's what Americans want to see. Let's hope it comes to fruition. Congresswoman Julie Fedorchak, Republican of North Dakota, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.